Hi guys, and welcome to today's video! So a couple of weeks ago I asked you guys on Instagram and also here on YouTube to send me in some of your drawings. And you guys are so creative and talented. Everything that you drew and sent in was so beautiful, and I really loved seeing your artwork. And so for this video I've picked out 3 of your drawings and I'm going to create whatever you drew in clay. I thought that this would be a fun video idea, and if you would like me to make more videos like this one, you can just let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. But anyways, let's get started with the first drawing, which comes from Ranyah. And she made this super cute drawing of a little penguin. I absolutely love the big eyes, and it kind of reminds me of those littlest pet shop animals. So yeah, this is the first design for this video. So I started out by taking some white clay, and the type of clay I'm using here is Fimo soft clay. I took some of it and I created a head, trying to match the head shape from the drawing. And then I made the body. And as you can see in the drawing, the head and the body were pretty much the same size, so I tried to replicate that with the clay. And I then started to make some details. I took a tiny piece of orange clay and I created a tiny beak. And I also made little feet for it. And lastly, I took some black clay to create the wings. And I really wanted it to look like the drawing, so I even made the little feathers on the top of the head. And so far I do think that my penguin looks quite a lot like the one in the drawing. But now it is time to bake the clay, and then I started painting. I used a needle and also a dotting tool to paint on all of the details. And once I had done that, I glazed the little penguin. And then it is done. And here is how it turned out. I think that it looks super cute, and it was so fun to recreate the drawing into clay. Maybe the body shape of my penguin is a little bit different, but other than that, I think that they look very alike. But let's move on to the second drawing, which comes from Nami on Instagram, and she drew this absolutely adorable little party ghost. And to make it, I started out by making the shape of the body for the ghost, and I then used an X-Acto knife to make the pattern on the bottom of the white part. And I then cut out some clay in the middle of the bottom. And after fine-tuning the edges a little bit, the ghost ended up looking like this. And I then rolled out some clay and created some fingers to make the arms. And at first I made one arm longer than the other, but then I ended up making them pretty much the same size. And I then made some more details for the ghost, like the little bag that he has under his arm. And I also made a little party hat for him. And as you can see, I'm making it green, but I'm going to paint on the stripes later. So I put on the hat on the ghost and also a little ball. And then I just cut out a bunch of different colored pieces in clay and put them in the bag in his hand. And then lastly, I made 2 little legs for the ghost. And I then baked it, and again I used a needle and a dotting tool to paint on the details. And everything left to do now is to glaze it. And here is how my little ghost turned out. And making this drawing in clay was a bit of a challenge because of all of the details and the painting, but it was definitely a really fun project to do. But now it is time for the last design for this video, which was drawn by Mapi on Instagram. And she created this super cute unicorn drink. I absolutely love the colors in this one, and I just had to create it in clay. So for this one I started out with some dark pink clay and I rolled it out and pressed down the edges to create the shape of the drink. And I then took some white clay and I tried to make it look like whipped cream. And I also used an X-Acto knife to give it some details. And I put it on the drink, and then I rolled out a bunch of different colored clay and I put them together and swirled them around to create the unicorn horn. And then I also put a thin piece of green clay to create the straw. And lastly I put on a piece of blue clay around the drink. And then it was time for painting. First thing that I did was to use a dotting tool to make some splatter of blue paint. And I then added some blue and pink details. And then I glazed the drink. And once the glaze had hardened, I printed out a tiny label and I glued it on. And then it was done. And here is how it turned out. I think the proportions on my drink was probably not completely the same, but other than that I think that mine turned out pretty good and it was such a fun project to try out. So yeah, that was everything for today's video. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who sent in your drawings. It was so fun to see all of your artwork, and please let me know in the comments if you would like me to make videos with the other drawings that you guys sent in. And if you want to, you can even send in more drawings to me. You can find more information in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so you won't miss any future uploads. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!